Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts and Ting and Ting and Ting. I'm Mr. Giant, back with another video, back with another reaction. We're going to look at a brilliant Romanian inventor. The name is Henri Coandă, I do believe it is, cut off there. But we're going to check this out. Let's YouTube and simmer and vibe it up.
Okay, so let's dive in. There's this really fascinating fact to start us off. Henri Coandă, the guy Bucharest's main airport is named after now, he actually built the world's first jet-propelled aircraft way back. But here's the kicker. It didn't exactly soar. It crashed on its very first flight.
Yeah, the maiden flight. It was, well, a failure in the classic sense, but incredibly important as it turned out. So in this deep dive, we're looking at Henri Coandă's life using insights from Henri Coandă, pioneer of flight and fluid dynamics. We really want to explore not just his inventions, which were amazing, but also the sheer persistence behind it all.
Absolutely. We're aiming to unpack those key moments, the insights that really defined his journey as an innovator.
Exactly. Uncover that spirit.
And his story, it wasn't straightforward, was it? Even from the start, there was this tension. He came from a pretty prominent Romanian family. His dad was a general, also math professor, so that expectation...
Military, definitely a military career path laid out for him.
Right. But what's interesting, and you see this in the source material, is this early pull he felt.
This fascination, yeah, with the air, with flight. Even while he was fulfilling those military duties, his mind was elsewhere.
Totally. Thinking about how flight worked, the secrets of the air.
And that passion, that inventor's itch, it eventually won out over the expectations.
He made that break, didn't he? Left the military path to chase invention. That takes guts.
It really does. A conscious choice for a very uncertain path. The source highlights how his inventive drive just couldn't be contained by that structured military life.
It definitely set the scene for what came next.
Which took him to Paris. Early 20th century Paris was just buzzing with aviation fever.
The place to be if you were into flying machines. And that's where he built the Coandă 1910. Now, think about this. The very first aircraft designed with jet propulsion.
I mean, propeller planes were still pretty new, still being figured out.
See, you didn't learn about that thing in school. What you learn about is the Wright brothers. That's all we learned about. Yeah, we didn't know about what's happening on the other side of the pond, what they're doing over there in Europe and things like that. Or anywhere else in the world for that matter, you know what I mean? It would surprise me if you learn about other parts of the world where stuff was done, but we just we do the Wright brothers. That's who we were, and I know that was probably before this jet propulsion thing came into play, but this was never mentioned in our classrooms at all.
Exactly, and he just leaps ahead to this idea of jet power. Okay, a basic version, but still. Yeah. Jet power. The sheer audacity of it back then is...
Wow. It really makes you think about the mindset required, doesn't it? To ignore the conventional path, the safer bets, and go for something so radical, so unproven.
Courage is the word. The source points that out building and trying to fly something based on completely new tech.
He was definitely challenging everything.
And that first flight? Well, it didn't go well.
No. Memorable, but not in a good way.
Speaking about how, going against the conventional grain and stuff like that, and not wanting to move ahead with stuff like this, it was... people do that a lot, not so much now, in a different sense. You understand what I'm saying? Back then, correct me if I'm wrong, money wasn't a big play in things. You understand what I mean? They haven't found a way to make money off of a thing yet. So that then they fight against it, and that happens to a certain degree now still. You know what I mean? A lot of the technological innovations and stuff like that, there's big money in it now. So they just ram it down in there, you know what I mean? Whether you want it or not, here it comes. It's kind of like the car, when the car was there, from the carriage to the car, you know what I mean? Those flying things in the air, people say, oh, the safety. No, once they figured out how to make money from that stuff, yeah, it's going through, boy, you know what I mean? Yeah, they give a little money here to little politicians, they're blah, blah, to make this stuff happen. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. as long as there's money to be made, they're going to do it, Back then and stuff, for a lot of the, I mean, like, when you look at people like Einstein and them, they weren't making any money. Goodyear wasn't making any money. He died a pauper, you understand? But they became popular once people figured out how to make money with them. And that's the vibe right
It
there.
apparently became uncontrollable, crashed, burst into flames. He got out, but got burned.
You can just imagine watching your big idea literally go up in smoke like that. The disappointment must have been immense.
I hate to stop it here, but I was thinking about the same thing with insulin. As soon as they figure out how to make money out of it, bam, they shove it out into the world and thing. And apparently the guy who invented the insulin stuff, didn't mean for it to be made a money maker. He just wanted to let people have it to use. But that money thing, boy, that's going to push it out there every
But
time.
this is where the story takes that incredible turn we mentioned at the start.
Right, because out of that fiery wreck came this crucial observation.
He noticed something about the flames.
Yeah, he saw how the flames from the engine weren't just shooting straight back. They seemed to hug the fuselage, cling to the surface.
Like they were being drawn towards the body of the plane.
Exactly. And that wasn't just some random effect of the fire. That was his first glimpse of a fundamental principle.
The Coandă Effect. Named after him, obviously.
This idea that a jet of fluid air, in this case, or the hot gases, tends to follow a nearby curved surface.
So this disastrous crash, this failure, accidentally leads him to his biggest scientific discovery. It's kind of paradoxical, isn't it?
It really is. It shows how insight can come from unexpected places, even failure. But the world wasn't exactly ready to cheer him on immediately.
No, not at all. After that spectacular crash, the scientific community was pretty dismissive of his ideas.
Funding dried up. Opportunities vanished. He faced some serious headwinds.
It sounds like he spent years...
We can't make money off of this. This is a failure. It's a crash, They didn't even give my man time to fix the vibe.
pretty isolated, working in obscurity almost.
That's the picture painted, yes. His vision wasn't immediately accepted.
But he didn't give up. He just kept going, driven by his own belief. That level of conviction when everyone else doubts you, that's something else.
Absolutely. The source suggests this period really forged his determination. It speaks volumes about that inner drive, the motivation that keeps innovators going, even without outside applause.
He just kept tinkering, kept questioning, kept experimenting.
Pushing those boundaries.
And incredibly, his mind wasn't just on planes. He ended up with over 250 patents.
Which is just staggering.
And in all sorts of areas. Like he designed these lens-shaped flying saucer-type things, vertical takeoff. Decades before that became a sci-fi staple.
It shows a mind that wasn't fenced in, right? Constantly exploring. He worked on new building materials.
Devices for finding liquids underground water,
Wow.
oil.
Which has huge implications, obviously. Even systems for offshore oil drilling. Real diverse stuff.
And the Coandă Effect itself, that discovery from the crash, its applications are everywhere now.
Oh, absolutely. Modern aircraft design, yes, but also things like ventilation systems, using it to direct airflow efficiently.
And get this, it was even used in the braking system for the Apollo lunar module.
Isn't that amazing? From a plane crash in 1910 to landing on the moon, it shows how fundamental principles can pop up in the most unexpected ways.
Science is weird like that sometimes.
It certainly has its twists and turns.
No, his story isn't totally straightforward. There was some controversy later on, right?
Yes, in the 1950s, he made some claims about inventing the jet engine itself, which caused a bit of debate.
Right. His memories perhaps didn't quite line up perfectly with the established timelines, which led to some skepticism.
It's a good reminder that history, especially the history of invention, can be complex. There can be different perspectives.
But the source does stress that despite those debates, his actual documented contributions were undeniable.
Absolutely. And they eventually earned him significant international recognition.
Yeah, the honors piled up. UNESCO, the French government, Britain's Royal Aeronautical Society, they all recognized his work.
And of course, back home in Romania, having the main international airport in Bucharest, named Henri Coandă Airport, that's a lasting tribute.
Definitely seals his legacy there.
He actually returned to Romania later in life. He got involved in scientific research there, became director of an institute.
And importantly, inspired younger generations, right?
Yes, his whole life story became this powerful example of resilience, how to keep going despite setbacks, despite the doubters. It's a long game, innovation.
It really makes you think, reflecting on his journey, how many good ideas Maybe even world-changing ideas just wither because someone was afraid of failing at the start.
Or afraid of being dismissed.
Yeah. His life feels like a challenge.
didn't have the
doesn't
money.
it? A call to follow your conviction.
The source basically frames it that way. An invitation to trust your vision, even when things get tough, and that adversity. Sometimes it's actually the fuel.
It can push you harder, make you think differently.
Exactly. It's not always a roadblock. Sometimes it's a detour that leads somewhere even more interesting.
And those failures, they're not endpoints. They're just data, learning experiences,
Yep.
essential steps, maybe.
Yeah.
His story is a perfect illustration of that. He took the potential disaster of that crash and turned it into a fundamental principle. Like the air he studied, his spirit was resilient.
So I guess the big takeaway is that the world really is shaped by people who dare to push limits, who don't accept impossible as the final answer.
Coandă certainly fits that bill.
And his life is, well, it's an encouragement for all of us, for you listening. Embrace that curiosity you have.
Build up that resilience for when things don't go smoothly. And don't underestimate your own imagination. Coandă definitely didn't.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Think about a time, maybe recently, maybe long ago, when you had an idea and it was met with doubt. Maybe your own doubt, maybe someone else's. What if you'd pushed through with that same relentless vision Coandă had? What seemingly impossible sky might you have set alight?
Wow, what a story. It seems like a lot of great inventors back then just got dismissed. You understand what I'm saying and thing? And, you know, they said pushback and all of that, you know. I think money is a big deal, man. If people see like it's a goal and they're gonna make some quick money, they're gonna pile the money in on it. You know what I mean? Let's go. You know, and they don't care who it hurt or what it hurt, as long as they figure they're gonna gain some financial stuff from that, they're gonna just push and push and push. You understand what I mean? Even if the stuff has failed once, and they believe in it, they'll keep going if they see those dollar bills at the end of the tunnel. You understand what I'm saying? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. If you did, drop a like on the video. You know, this great Romanian inventor here, his life story and stuff, and all the stuff that he's went through and all of that. It's really good to learn about this because, you know, I mean, I didn't know much about this before, you know. Now I do. I hope you guys do too. Hey, let's hope you're having a great day. Life is good. In the meantime, let's try to bring some peace in this world, okay?